Hello, and welcome to Bucknell. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this short video. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to let you know a little bit of information about what you need to know and do regarding health and wellness prior to arriving to Bucknell, and also a little bit about the health center for once you are here on campus. Before you arrive, the very first thing I would ask you to do as you prepare is begin to monitor the Bucknell email as soon as possible for important dates, announcements, and reminders that you'll receive. So as soon as you are assigned a Bucknell email address, you'll want to start to monitor that for important information. You should follow any class page to which you have access for, again, some more important information about your arrival. All incoming students must submit medical requirements prior to their arrival date. So that's whenever your arrival date is. If it's in an off semester or whether you're coming early for a sports team or pre-orientation program, or whether you're arriving at the traditional move-in date with the entire class, your information should be received here at the health center prior to your move-in date to ensure a smooth arrival. All of the requirements and the forms for those requirements can be found on our website, bucknell.edu/studenthealth, or here at the link on the screen. You can go ahead and do the demographics portion of the forms now. You can find that at the website. You may have received that via email already, and you can go ahead and do that right from your phone, and that will get your medical records started here at the health center. You'll want to download and take the entire medical packet form to the doctor's office when you report there for the physical that's required. There are parts of the form that the provider needs to complete. So if you have that with you at the time of your appointment, that would be the best option. Any questions that arise about the requirements or the forms themselves can be directed to us here at medicalrecords@bucknell.edu. Please note, if you are an athlete coming to campus, you may need to submit additional forms to the athletics department. They may look similar and have some similar content, but they are not interchangeable. We can't accept their form and they cannot accept ours. So just know that you'll have two sets of health forms to turn in if you're coming as an athlete. What to know about health insurance. So first, all students on campus must have an active health insurance plan in place when you're here on campus. Students arriving from international locations will need to purchase the university-offered plan. This is a good time to reiterate the importance of monitoring your email because you will receive information in email about the university-offered health plan. For the domestic students, before deciding if you'll bring the insurance that you currently use at home or purchase the university plan, it's advised to call the phone number on the back of your ID card and ask if there is coverage in this area. You can tell them the zip code or mention WellSpan Evangelical or Geisinger Health Systems, and the agent on the phone should be able to begin to guide you to know whether or not you do have any insurance coverage with that home plan here where Bucknell is located. There may be a couple clues on your cards also. This card on the left with Anthem on top, you see that circled suitcase at the bottom that's empty. That would probably indicate that you do not have coverage when traveling or when outside the local area. Being empty or even having HMO in that suitcase may indicate that you do not have coverage in our area. Whereas on the other card, you see PPO listed in that suitcase. That could mean that you have some coverage in other areas, but it's still advised to call and confirm the location and what types of services you have coverage with that plan. You will need later to either enroll in or waive the university offered plan. You'll want to watch for an email, again, to that Bucknell email address from RCMD, who is the broker for our insurance plan, with a link to enroll in that plan or to waive it if you're going to bring your own insurance. Any questions about that process should be directed to Paige Fritz at the number listed here or by emailing Paige at bucknell@rcmd.com. The services performed here at the health center are free to all students, regardless of the type of insurance you have. So whether you're bringing your home plan from California or buying the university plan, anything that we do for you here at the health center, from just the provider visit, is covered. Coverage is not an issue for that. Where that coverage area comes into play is if you need a referral for some outside testing, say lab testing or an x-ray, for example, things that we cannot do here at the health center. Those procedures would be billed by the facility providing the service to your insurance. And that's why you want to know if you have coverage for those types of things in this area. Here's a good example of why that is so important. Occasionally a student, based on their presenting symptoms, may be ordered lab work. So this is just a list of some typical labs. The estimate on the left is for a student without coverage for labs in this geographic location, and that self-pay total is about $2,000. The same services on the right for a person who does have some insurance coverage for the lab costs in this area has a bill and a patient responsibility of only about $137. So clearly very important to understand whether or not you could get the labs here with any insurance coverage. Another pertinent example, so we at the health center may be able to do a rapid throat swab to test you for strep, but sometimes sending a more detailed throat culture is indicated. That is not something that's done here at the health center, so that would go out to an external lab. Throat culture without coverage, about $470. And that same culture, if there is insurance coverage, is about $80. So it's clearly very important to understand this. If you can get some of this information prior to coming, that's great. If not, and you decide to keep your home insurance, we do have an insurance liaison who works out of our office, who, if we're referring a student for some of these outside procedures, we do have them meet with the insurance liaison, who will discuss your specific policy plan and determine whether there is coverage. Maybe there's some better coverage at a different local facility than others, or maybe there's no coverage and you want to talk with home to see if it's something, you know, that can maybe wait until you're home if a break is coming up or something, and you're going to be home and you can get better coverage for the procedure at home. So these are things to think about now and check with your insurance provider as to whether they offer any coverage in our area. But keeping in mind, just to be seen by a doctor, have some very basic tests that we do here at the health center, like flu testing or strep throat swab, rapid swab tests, are all covered, no additional cost to the students here. So you're here, you got all of your medical records in on time, and you've now arrived to campus. I just want to let you know that we are here for you at the health center. So the Bucknell Student Health Center is located at the lower part of campus in the Graham Building, really acting as your primary care provider while you're here on campus. So offering services, including, but certainly not limited to, acute and chronic disease and injury management, sexual health care services and products, including STI testing at a weekly clinic here at the health center, vaccine administration. We offer nutritional counseling to all students at no additional cost, with a registered dietitian who works here out of our office. As students are here on campus and eventually many of them study abroad, we offer travel medicine. We can provide specialty referrals to one of our local hospitals. We offer simple procedures here, such as simple suturing or foreign body removals like ticks or splinters, things like that. We can do physicals for work or jobs, school physicals, and so much more. We do offer just a small medication dispensary for some of the more commonly prescribed medications here. So especially important for a student who either doesn't feel well enough or doesn't have transportation access to get to some of the local pharmacies to pick up the medication that they are prescribed here and get started on that right away. Phlebotomy services are provided from the local hospital, whereby the phlebotomist comes to the health center 3 times a week, saves the student a trip out to the lab. But remember, yes, we are drawing the labs here out of our office, but they are being run through the external lab. So that is a procedure that would be billed to your insurance and not covered as a service provided here at the health center. We are open 7 days a week during the semester, so that includes abbreviated hours on the weekends, and operate by appointments that are scheduled by phone call during our regular business hours. Typically, we can schedule an appointment to see a student same day or maybe the next day, depending what time of the day we're getting the call to schedule an appointment. We don't typically do walk-ins, but obviously, if a person walked in with a concern, we will get them in as we can, based on the acuity of the illness or injury. And then, as I mentioned, we do have that insurance liaison here on site, who is a great resource for students as they navigate what types of procedures or things they can have done in the local area if it's not something we can provide here at the health center. And we have educational outreach, from tabling events to pop-up flu shot clinics all across campus throughout October, whereby we provide a free fast flu shot to all students just as they're walking back and forth to class. So very important to keep that in mind. I also want to note here that the Counseling and Student Development Center is located here in the same building as we are in the Graham building, but is a separate entity from the Bucknell Student Health Center. We'd ask that you follow us on social media for any important updates that we might post there, or just some general healthy, fun posts. If after watching this video you have any questions, you may ask them by calling during our regular phone hours to our number at the front desk, or emailing medicalrecords@bucknell.edu, and someone will get back to you and help navigate your question regarding the pre-arrival requirements or how to use the Student Health Center. Whatever you need, we're here for you. So thank you very much for your time, and we sure look forward to welcoming you to our herd. Take care.